Hello friends, welcome back to the part 3 of Mohamed Yusuf Khan story. So now, as you know previously, we found that Mahfuz Khan has been now held as a hostage in Madurai by the rebelling mutiny. And mutiny was very common during those time in the company because they had a lot of mercenary army and they have to be paid well to be part of the team to work. But now with growing wars and Nawab being in huge debt, there was not enough money that can be paid for these people to be maintained in the army. So they captured Mahfuz Khan, and they know that Nawab will be paying as much as he can in order to keep Mahfuz Khan alive, as he's very close to him. So now there starts a new problem between Yusuf and Nawab. Yusuf, who's like Clive, did some private business with along with the company work, which means like lending some part of the land which was under Nawab in Tiruchi to private people for money. And Nawab noted this down and reported this to the governor in Madras, Pigot. And Pigot replied back saying that, nah, Yusuf is a very nice guy and he has worked a lot for us. So let just sweep it below the carpet. And Nawab was quite not happy with Yusuf also in the way he handled Mahfuz Khan. So he made Yusuf an enemy from that day. The mutiny people were on fight to get their arrear back, which was 2 lakh for them. And the Nawab was ready to give. When he was ready to give, the mutineers thought, why not to ask more? So they doubled the demand. And by the time Mahfuz Khan also joined with the governor Barhatullah and the rebels, they started revolt against the company. So Mahfuz Khan, who was a friend of Nawab, has now turned against Nawab with the governor also. So the people who were loyal to the company were asked to were sent out of the town and the fort, and they were stationed into it. Yusuf Khan, who came to know about this rebel, started from Tirunelveli, and he left the in charge of Tirunelveli to Jafar Khan, his close ally. And he on the way he took up some of his troops and he reached Madurai. And by the time he reached Madurai, he came to know that the only gun which he had to blast the fort walls was now with Mahfuz Khan. So he doesn't have any more guns to put it on. And luckily, Mudali was also having an army of two company troops. He sent them from Tirunelveli to Madurai, and with Mudali showing his allegiance to Yusuf Khan, the polygars were in the side of Mudali. This was a very big setback for the mutineers, and Yusuf Khan reported to Calicut, who is a captain in Tiruchi, that he has opened negotiation with the rebels through an interpreter called as Narayanan, and Narayanan was not able to pursue Mahfuz Khan and Bartullah, but he was able to convince the jamindars and other people who were inside that they can take up the arrear monies, and they said okay. But unfortunately, when Yusuf asked for the money to Mudali, Mudali told he doesn't have any money because many of them are spent for the military expenditure, and it's not possible for him to collect the money. And also in Tirunelveli, the situation was going a little bit bad because the group of people of polygars were raiding around Tirunelveli, and they were constantly harassing the king of Travangore's territory, and he was growing impatient. And he switched his side from the English back to the Three Musketeers and Nabi Khan. And the Mudali was saying that he can only pay for the original troops and cannot pay for the extra and the ransom money. And this was putting into a deadlock for Yusuf. So Calicut, who was in Trichy, was really angry, and he sent a letter to because saying that Yusuf Khan has to be taken back immediately, and with him in this part of the country, the situation can go worse. And then there was another issue in which Yusuf Khan was told that he was arrested Mudaliya's very close allied, and kept him under arrest in Tirunelveli. And Jamal Khan, who was now in charge in Tirunelveli, was driving out the entire Katamaman and Pulichever troops who are now joined with Nabi Khan. Now they have switched again from the British to the French and to the rebels. And Jamal Khan was going around the places, and he was harassing Mudali's agent, and was collecting money on their behalf directly. So this was another criticism which was made against Yusuf Khan. But when Pigot got this letter, he cannot ask Yusuf about these activities because there were not quite good evidence. So Pigot wrote that as the war on France is coming to Madras, he need Yusuf to come to Madras so that he can be of a greater importance to him. And he asked them to give the command of in charge to Lieutenant Rumbold and take up things from there. And you have to come back to Madras. But Yusuf was not interested to go to Madras right now. So what he did is he took up a very huge army and came down on the polygars who were shifting alliances from both sides and met them about close to 10,000 people, and he crushed them. They ran into the woods, and Nabi Khan entered into Siviliputur and he was about to ransack it, but it was an attack which was made by him, but people rebelled against him, so he has to leave Siviliputur and he started to move more towards Dindigul. And Yusuf Khan was then came back to Madurai and he gave Lieutenant Rambulbo the in charge for the remaining army, and and he was also asking the help of Hyder Ali, who was also known the Tiger of Mysore, for more help. So but on the way, in Srivilliputtur, Mudali has sent a messenger to Pulitevar for a truce, but which Yusuf Khan was not ready to accept. But it was just to play a game, and Pulitevar was opening a negotiation with the British and also was getting the help from the French, and which was known to Yusuf later, and he stopped all the negotiation point. And now Pulitevar, to be quite confident that Mahfuz Khan will not switch over to the Nawab camp, he asked Barmatullah, the governor of Mathura, to be sent to Nillukattacheval fort so that he can be kept in captivity and he can be sure that nobody can go against him. And Yusuf Khan was suddenly praised by Calicut, and he's told that he needs him here to go on further. And he came down from Tiruchi to Tirunelveli and Madurai to keep a truce between both Mudali and Yusuf Khan, because their relationship was not so good. And by the time they were having they're having the truce to be done, they found that Count Lally is coming towards to Pondicherry, and he was about to move towards Madras for an huge attack which can jeopardize the entire system of the company which has been established in the southern part of India. So instead of calling back Yusuf, Calicut came to Madurai, and he wants to make sure that Madurai is being secured. And he came with him with two pieces of cannon and all the machineries he needs to attack the fort. And Calicut then asked, then we saw that Mudali was really weak, and that is where he realized that Mudali and Yusuf were not going too well because Yusuf was a bit aggressive, and he recommended to the company that both the collector of the money and the military in charge can be one person, and it can be Yusuf Khan alone. And this was taken up by company seriously, and later he was done the same. Now, when they were down towards Tirunelveli, Hyder Ali came up and attacked Solavandan, and was moving towards blocking Dindigul road, which could be the only lifeline for people between Tirchi and Madurai. And Yusuf Khan took up his troops and he moved forward and he attacked Hyder Ali, and he swept him back, and he left from this place, and he went back to Mysore. Now Calicut thought this is the right time to attack them, so he made up some ladders and troops at the night to climb up the wall. But unfortunately, the enemies were alerted, and it was a disaster where the army has to run back to their own position to take back what was done. So there was no breach which was made on that day, and they camped near the fort to make sure that the enemies are under siege and they will surrender on their own. And after this, Calicut thought that he has to go back to Madurai, and Mudali insisted that he has to be taken back along with him to Trichy, which he refused. But Mudali deserted the camp, and he was waiting near, as he told, the Natham Pass, which is between Madurai and Trichy, and he joined with Calicut, and he went to Trichy, and he complained that his close friend Alagappa and was being arrested by the Yusuf loyalties, and they are collecting the money on their own. And this was a major problem against which was put against Yusuf Khan, and anyway it was mostly not true, and both Yusuf Khan and Rabul Dawn were trying to make a breach on the fort, but it was not possible to do that to that point. And now they wanted the help of Kattaboman and Ettaipuram, so they gave them more land and more elephant and horses to get his troops into line and to attack. So by this time they got their help. They had two 18-pounders, big cannon, which they were shooting on for a long time, and they also had some help from French and the Dutch prisoners which are under the control from Tiruchi, and through this they were able to breach into the fort, and they were able to enter into the fort, and this sent the entire rebels running out of the fort, and they conquered it. And the time was very apt, because by the time they captured the fort, it was the same time Monsieur du Sauffire arrived in Pondicherry, and they got a very big French consignment. If the fort would have stand for 1 or 2 days, then it could be a problem for Yusuf or for Calicut to enter into the fort, because they would have faced a huge encirclement by the French troop which has arrived recently in Pondicherry. So, because of this, now both Trichy, Madurai, and Tirunelveli are back to the company's control because of Yusuf Khan's huge effort. And now the problem was that Count Lally was also on his way towards Pondicherry. He was a very effective general, and in the later part, we will see how Lally laid a siege on the Madras, which was a turning point of both the French and the British history in India.